No big deal. So we're gonna take everything out. I usually grab the motors once I get them loose, and once I grab them and I got a good hold on them, I also grab this piece here and take it apart. Now in my particular case, this time I got everything loose, just kind of basically to show you how everything comes out, but I can't take it all the way apart because I've got my LED in there, and my LED is locked in with a flush mount holder, so I don't want to take that loose because I don't want to try to get it back in. So I'm just going to show you everything else from this angle. Alright, if you look here, we almost done. The only other thing you would do is go to solder your stuff. If you want to take these little arms off, let me get in here so you can see what I'm talking about. You just grab it, hold tight, and pull. It pops right off. It's got a little holder in there. And then when you ready to put it back on, you just put it back on the reverse. And basically the same way you put it back together. And you just push this all the way on until it fits on both of these, and they both come off the same way. No big deal. And we're gonna put this thing back together now, because it's really all the way apart. So first thing I'm gonna do is make sure I don't have any screws lying around in here, which I do. We're gonna hold everything, get all the screws out. That's the most important. Gonna position everything back. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to lay it down because I'm on the table. It's not going to go all the way through. I'm going to put my motors back in. And let me go wide so y'all can see this whole thing play out. Put the motors back in. Make sure they're seated correctly on either side. Boom. Motors are in. Make sure this part is seated correctly. Looks like it is. PS button is correct. I look in there. I always check everything to make sure everything is working. Then I go back in and drop my screws in for my motor. Let me tell you another thing too. When you're putting these motors back in, the easy thing to do, hold the motor, drop the screws in first so you don't have to try to force them in these little slim slots. They are too little. So you get in here and I drop one down in the. It's okay. If you do that, don't panic. It'll come right back out. Just be patient. Don't beat it up. Don't beat up your controller. Don't get upset, because you will tear it up if you do that. Alright. Now we're almost where we need to be on the even kill with this one motor. So we're going to get it. Get these screws started. Don't tighten anything until you get all of your screws in. We'll try to. Alright. Try to get this thing put back together. Alright, we got the rumble motors kind of in. We want to make sure our buttons are set, and they kind of are, kind of aren't. So I'm going to get in here and make sure I set everything up before I put this thing back together. Make sure we got it all put together. Make sure it's all in here before we do anything else. Alright, looks like it's together. The buttons look like they gonna work. Everybody look like it's working. So I'm finna put one more screw in this thing, and then we're gonna tighten the insides down. Alright. Now get up a little bit, can't be working higher. Alright, oh shit. Alright, got it together. Now I'm gonna start tightening down. Now I usually start with lab button. Y'all do it however you want to do it. I'm all over the place with mine. I don't have my usual light. You also need a lot of light when you're doing this. I'm working off of just natural daylight because I'm in the hospital, as I said before. But y'all do it however you can. Next thing I do is go in and do a strength test. I tug on everything to make sure it's in there good and tight. And I do a slight tug. I ain't being heat man. Remember, non-jack off arm only. Alright, got this in. Not a hard part. Putting the buttons back together. Now let me zoom in, because this is the part where people gonna fuck it up. Alright, first thing you want to do is you take and make sure this little part here, that the little circle, got to touch this little circle in between that UE. It's got to touch right in there, in between there. So we're gonna make that happen. And you click on it, make sure it's pushing. If everything feels right, it probably is. Then you go in and put this in. Now this is very important. This little hook piece. Show y'all easy way to do it, Ichi style. So you ain't gotta have no problems. You pull down on your 2 trigger, all the way down, slide this bad boy in, and it slides in the slots and it seats. And you'll know when it seats because it's gonna look uniform. See, now I'm not seated, so I know it. And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times. That's okay. Let me go ahead. I'm not liking this either, so I am gonna do some work here. I'm gonna make sure I can do some work the way I want to do it. If something don't feel right, it's probably not. It's hung up on something. So don't panic. Make sure you know what's going on now. Don't get jammed up like I'm doing. Alright, get this seated first, and it should slide just like a woodpecker. Now get this one, put the one back in there, and make sure it goes. All that's got to slide together, and it's got to be pushable. That's it. Now, when you get that done, like I said, push down on your 2. Get the clip going, get the clip in, and it's real easy. Now everything on that side is put back together. Let's do the other side. Same thing. It's gonna look a little loose till we put the back on. That's fine. Long as we making the proper connections. We want to make sure this one goes in correctly and want to face it the right way, obviously. So we're gonna put it in. It's on. It's clicking. We want hooks going forward. So you want to push down on your 2, excuse me, and get it down in there and rock it back, rock it a little bit till it gets flush. Now we're good. Now we're gonna put the battery components back in, which are real easy. These battery doors, they just go in like so. Snap, crackle, and pop. Gonna do another one. We're gonna put the tray in. I cut my tray also, so it doesn't impede on those wires that I got running to my LED. Plug my battery back in, the reverse way I took it out. Yep. Is this it? Not the safe. Oh, it ain't right. I had it backwards. I'm sorry. Got the battery in. Got the battery around. Got everybody in place. Now we got to put the back on, which is the last hardest part. That's the reset button. Alright, when I put my back on, I start up top. And I make sure that the top is seated first. Then I work with the bottom. Don't try to put it on bottom to top. It's not going to go on. Put it on top to bottom. Alright, got that in. Oh, look at that. Back on. Now, we got it partially on. Next step we want to do is make sure at the bottom there's a little snap in there. You want to hear it pop. If you hear it pop, you know you ain't a virgin no more. Felt good. Now, we're going to put our 5 screws back in. We're going to do a power test. See if the LED comes on. LED comes on, you're all done. Alright. Then I do one last look around, usually to check, make sure the control is got all this integrity, everything working. So I'm playing online. I can't talk about lag or nothing, the reason why I ain't winning. Alright. Down, up, everything nice and tight. Power start. LEDs on. We got a working controller with one flashlight. Congratulations. Now you know how to do it. No one's half the battle. Get your buying out.